Hello and welcome to Unit 6, Sexual Reproduction, Day 3. So today we're answering the question, how does meiosis increase genetic variation? And this is a complex question with a complex answer. But most of today's assignment, as you can see, is related to a short video. I've included the link, but I highly encourage you guys to go ahead, go watch that video and answer these questions on your own, and then come back and check your work with me. I think it will be much easier for you to understand these concepts if instead of watching me give you the answers first, you watch the video first. But let's go ahead and do these two multiple choice questions as warm up. So, meiosis and fertilization are important processes because they most immediately result in many body cells, no. Immune responses, no, because again, most immediately, right? Eventually they result in many body cells, but not right away, especially not meiosis. Genetic variation, sounds like our aim for today, or natural selection. We haven't gotten to that yet, but that's not the answer. The answer is C, genetic variation. And meiosis is the process by which gametes are produced. And fertilization is the process by which gametes are combined to form a new organism. And every time gametes are created and fertilization occurs, we are experiencing unique genetic combinations. And this is really the short answer to how does meiosis increase genetic variation? When we're looking at the genes of a parent, it's not when we're looking at the genes of a parent, it's not like this is one sperm cell and this is another sperm cell, but rather that's DNA, if you couldn't tell. The process by which the gametes are actually created involves taking different pieces of DNA from all along, different pieces, different chromosomes from the organism, and giving the resulting gamete 50% of the genetic information in the original organism, but each gamete itself is unique because of how this process works. And again, we're going to watch a little video to help illustrate that literally better than I can. Oof, that's an ugly drawing. So, which cell process occurs only in organisms that reproduce sexually? And all of these other things occur in other organisms, mutation, replication, and mitosis, but sexually reproducing organisms engage in meiosis because, again, this is how we create gametes. So crossing over is that process that I just very poorly illustrated. Please go ahead and stop this video now, open up that Amoeba Sisters video and watch it before you answer these questions. Okay, hopefully you're back now from watching the Amoeba Sisters video and you already have these questions answered and you're just checking your answers. So, how many chromosomes are present in human body cells? 46. How many chromosomes are present in, and we know that's diploid. And how many chromosomes are present in gamete cells? 23, because that's half, and we know that's haploid. What is fertilization? Union of sperm plus egg to create a zygote. What are the two gametes in humans? How many chromosomes does each have? Insert or draw or insert a picture below. So if you can draw on your sheet like I can mine, please go ahead and draw on it. If not, insert, meaning get a picture off Google Images and insert it. So the two gametes in humans, let's go ahead and be like really gender typical here and draw a blue sperm cell. Kind of looks like a little tadpole. It has a nucleus. Kind of looks like its eye, and it has 23 chromosomes, and that's a sperm. And again, we're really observing the gender binary here. And we're going to draw a baby pink egg cell. Ooh, that should be like round. Please ignore. I can't draw a perfect circle. I'm not perfect, but this is an egg. And it also has 23 chromosomes because they're both gametes. An egg is produced in your ovaries. So any of these words like ovum, ova, they all are talking about eggs. Just might be the sac where they are, etc. But that ov means it's an egg. And for sperm, we don't really have those extra words. They're just sperm cells. How are the cells that mitosis makes different from the cells that meiosis makes? Well, mitosis produces diploid cells with a full set of chromosomes. Meiosis produces haploid cells with half of the chromosomes. And so I've said many times, but the way I remember the difference is mitosis is the process by which if you stub your toe, ouch, mitosis, I hurt my toe. Mitosis is the process that repairs that toe. Meiosis, and this is easier if you have ovaries, but meiosis is your ovaries, your ovaries, which is why, the O. But if you can't use my mnemonic to remember them, please let me know of the mnemonics you may have created in the comments below or during class, because I'm always interested. So number 6. So number 6, what does homologous mean? You may remember in the video, they talked about homologous chromosomes, right? So homologous chromosomes are the same size and contain information that codes for the same genes. These are the chromosomes that line up for crossing over, as you can see in this image here below. They line up, and you can think of it like matching chromosomes. They don't have exactly the same DNA. They don't have exactly the same genetic information, but they code for the same genes. Crossing over in meiosis. This is the most interesting, most fun part of meiosis. So just like the amoeba sisters in the video, I also think crossing over is really important. And anyone who is interested in biology, especially microbiology and genetics, loves crossing over because this is such a fascinating process. This is really the answer to our question, how does meiosis increase genetic variation? It's because of this transfer and exchange of genetic information between homologous chromosomes. And this is how two siblings that have the exact same two parents, or let's say if two parents, they really are on their reproduction game and they have 12 kids, those 12 kids, none of them will be exactly identical, in large part due to meiosis and crossing over in meiosis, which creates recombinant chromatids, which means this chromatid has genetic information from both homologous chromosomes to create a totally brand new chromatid that has a unique combination of genes that has never existed before. So by doing that, we can create brand new organisms, basically, like brand new DNA combinations in organisms of the same species, but whole new genes just dropped, guys. Pretty cool stuff. So observe the two homologous chromosomes to the right, undergoing crossing over and making recombinant chromosomes. Describe what is happening to the genetic material within the chromosomes during this process. It is being transferred and exchanged between homologous chromosomes to create recombinant chromatids which contain new combinations of genes that never existed before, or how about that are unique to the chromatid. Whoa. If you choose to take AP biology or college level biology classes, you will deep dive into this topic a lot more. For our purposes, it's very important that you understand that crossing over increases genetic diversity, and that crossing over is part of meiosis and results in recombinant chromosomes. As far as for Regents purposes, the only thing you would likely be asked about this process is how it impacts genetic diversity, which it creates new mixtures of genes. That's it. It creates new mixtures of means. It creates new mixtures of genes. In the case of mitosis, obviously, we are creating exact copies, exact duplicates of the DNA. So there's no like novel genes being produced, unlike in meiosis, where we create these recombinant chromatids, which is just pretty neat. So how does meiosis result in increased variety? By creating new combinations of existing genes. And this is sort of what's really cool, right? Because in mitosis and asexual reproduction and sexual reproduction, we already have a process that can create new genes, right? Mutations, they can occur spontaneously, they can occur due to exposure to chemicals, and not all mutations bad. We'll talk a lot more about mutations when we get to evolution, but through sexual reproduction as just part of the bag, part of how sexual reproduction happens, we're constantly creating new combinations of existing genes through crossing over. Pretty neat. Okay, so I believe that's all. So make sure that you watch this video because it's cute and we won't have time to watch it in class, although I do have a super fun song video that I'm going to share with you. And let's do some math. So the chromosome, okay, here we go. So for a human, when we're talking about haploid, we're talking about gametes. So this is a math problem. Our gametes have 23 chromosomes, which means our eggs also have 23, and are fertilized. Okay, I actually think there's like an error in my table that hopefully is correct in your table. But egg chromosome is haploid. This should be sperm. And then the fertilized egg is the same as a body cell, right? So this is a zygote. It's going to be the same number of chromosomes as a body cell. Okay, so If this is a cat, cats have 38 chromosomes in a zygote for a cat. So that means they have 38 chromosomes in a body cell, which means half of that, and this is just like literally straight up math, half of 38, oh goodness, is 17, right? No, that can't be right. Hold on. Ladies and gentlemen, you're seeing here Miss Parsons, the reason she is a science teacher and not a math teacher. 19. I was close. But okay, so in a cat's sperm or in a cat's egg, we're going to have 19 chromosomes. In the case of an onion, wow, onions are just like cats. No, just kidding. That's not really how that works. Chimpanzees have more chromosomes than us. So chromosomes are not an indicator of how complicated an organism is. But okay, onions have 16 chromosomes in an egg. So there's going to be 16 chromosomes in a sperm, and there's going to be 32 chromosomes in a fertilized egg and 32 chromosomes in a body cell. You see how this is just math? So then rye, which is a plant, is going to have 7 chromosomes in its pollen. So that means it's going to have 7 chromosomes in its eggs, and it's going to have 14 chromosomes in a fertilized egg and 14 chromosomes in a body cell. A chicken, wow, a chicken has 78 chromosomes. That means it's going to have 78 chromosomes in its body cell and fertilized egg. And oh goodness, again, Miss Parsons is bad at math. That means there's going to be 39 chromosomes in a haploid egg and 39 chromosomes in a haploid sperm. This is a math equation. This could be something that you're asked about on the Regents. They like to throw something like this into a question. So just make sure that you remember that you can use the 2N and N as your guide. 2N is diploid. That's the full set. Di, which goes with 2, and 1N or just N is haploid. All right, so we'll talk just a hair more about this when we get to genetics, but if you have any questions about haploid and diploid, feel free to ask them during class. We'll get some practice on Castle Learning this week. All right, so go ahead, guys, complete your exit tickets. Today's aim was how does meiosis increase genetic variation? And we watched a short video from the Amoeba Sisters and answered the questions below. We looked at crossing over, which is pretty fascinating and responsible for a large degree of the diversity that we have in the human population. Thanks, crossing over. That's all I have for you today, guys. Have a super fantastic day, and I'll see you all tomorrow on Zoom. Bye, guys.